The holocaust did not have stars, not real one, but sometime when Yuna wandered far enough from the place, she find patches from the night sky that shimmered like glass trapped memories of a starlight maybe. She sat on a cliff edge now, knees stuck to her chest watching those fragments flicker. Kellen found her without a word, his cloak dragging behind him like a shadow with its own will. He sat beside her, silent, the space between them full of too much and not enough. "You are quiet," she said softly. "I'm always quiet." She smiled faintly. "No, sometimes you are sharp, sometimes cruel. This is different." A pause. "Then you are afraid?" He turned to her slow. "And if I am, then you are not the monster everyone say." He looked away. "I become something unholy to survive. I did things even the gods turned their face from, and yet here you are, sitting in the dark with me." Callan said nothing for a long time, then he reached into his armor and drew something out, a small shard of glass, silver blue, glowing softly. "What is that?" "A memory," he murmured. "One I took from you when I thought you were Serena. I didn't want to believe you could be real." He placed it in her palm. It burned, cold, then warm, and she saw it, a moment from her past life. Her and Jungkook laughing in the sunlight. He kissed her wrist, whispering something only she could hear. She looked at him like he was her entire universe. Yuna gasped and Callan whispered, "That's why I'm afraid." They crossed into the ruins of the Sun Court at dawn, where nothing should have lived but fire did. As covered the broken spires, the sky above simmered cold, but there was no warmth, only heat and judgment. Soldiers met them at the gate, sun-steel armor spearing glowing. Kellan stood tall, his shadow whirled protectively around Yuna. "We come by invitation," he said coldly. A figure stepped forward, tall, broad-shouldered, with burning eyes that fixed straight on Yuna. His crown blazed, the Dawn Fire King, and the moment he saw her, he froze. "Serena," Yuna throat tightened. "That's not my name." His gaze darkened. "No, but it's the soul you carry, and for what she did to this court you owe us blood." Callan stepped in front of her, sword drawn. "Touch her," he said, voice like thunder, "and I will burn what left of your kingdom to the bones." Yuna wandered through the ruins alone. The Sun Court has once been a place of a golden garden and light-soaked halls, but now it's all graveyard lit by ghost fire, and something here reminded her. A cracked morsel caught her eyes, half buried in rubble. She knelt and brushed it clean. It was a woman in flame-covered robes, her hand outstretched toward a shadow figure, Serena. And the figure, no crown, no armor, was Jungkook, not Callan, not yet. The moment her finger touched the morsel, the world twisted and she fell into memory. She stood in a throne room of fire and mirror. Serena's eyes stared black her at her, older, sharper, fierce with purpose. "I want them," the echo said, voice layered over her. "The gods lie. The sun court is not holy. It's a cage made of a light." Jungkook's past self placed beside her. "Serena, if you do this, they will catch it. Treason." She turned to him, heartbroken but resolved. "They already do." And then the image broke, shattered by a sword raised behind her, the drawn fire king. The last thing Yuna heard was Serena whisper like a spell cast around across lifetime, "When I fall, let her rise." Yuna's eyes snapped open, her knees sinking into ash. Kellen was beside her in an instant, pulling her back to her feet, but she barely felt him. The memory still clung to her skin like a smoke. She was going to betray them, Yuna murmured, not out of hate, out of truth. Kellen's expression hardened. The drawn fire king never forgave her for that. The throne room was dark, cold, its flames scaled floor, cracked from old battle. The king waited there, his eyes not on Kellen, but Yuna. He rose. You carry her magic, her memory, and perhaps her curse. Yuna stepped forward, voice steady. Then you remember why she defeated you. His gaze burned. She broke oaths. She unleashed forbidden god, and she almost ended the sun itself. Galen had moved subtly toward his blade. But the king said slowly, if you truly are her, then there is still a price to pay. He lifted his hand and soldiers surrounded them. You will stand trial in the old ways. Eunice squared her shoulder, then let them come. That night the sun god glowed with its air god light. But in the heart of the ruins it was a shadow that moved. Callan stood in the sacred temple of the god alone until the fire flickered. The Dawn Fire King stepped from the flames like it obeyed him. I wonder how long it would take for you to sit her back, the king said, his voice like cracking ember. Callan didn't flinch. You knew she was reborn. You felt it the moment her soul fluttered. I felt Serena curse. That's all. Callan had twisted at his side, but he didn't draw his blade. Not yet. She was not the one who betrayed the god, he said softly. You did. You made her the villain. You let her die. She chose to die. The king sneered. She took our trust and lit it on fire. And now she returned, wrapped in a soft skin and wide eyes. And you still want to save her? Callan stepped closer, shadow looking at his shoulder. I didn't want to save her. The air thickened. I want her to finish what you made her start. The king didn't respond. Callan left without another word. The sun-cold trial crown were ancient, formed from volcanic glass and golden praise. No chivalry, no mercy, just a circle of a fire. Yuna stood at the center, barefoot, surrounded by flames that whispered in a forgotten tongue. The king's voice echoed, you will face what she faced, the truth she left behind. If you survive, we will speak. If you fall, then so end her legacy. Callan stood just beyond the circle, his jaw clenched, hand bound in magic. He could not interfere. Yuna took a deep breath and stepped forward. The flame rose. She was pulled into memory, not one she had seen before, but one that had been hidden. Serena knelt before the god. Her body was bruised, her magic bound, but her eyes burned with fury. You know this war is unjust, she said. You know what they are doing. The god remained silent, watching her with glassy, inhuman eye. Then one spoke, you were our vessel, Serena, not our vice. Another added, you turned the Hollow Prince into a monster. She laughed broken. He became what you feared, what you could not control. You betrayed the sun. No, she said, I betrayed you. And then chains of golden fire wrapped around her throat. Una gasped, collapsing to her knees as the memory released her, but something had changed. The flame no longer burned her, they bent around her, curling like veins, and at the center of the circle something rose from the ground. A blade, made of light and night, wrapped in the veins of a straight light and thrones, her sword. The crowd of Sun Fair gasped. The Dawnfire King stood. She remembers, he said quietly. She is the Starborn. Callan broke his pleading and stepped to her side. Then your trial is over. But Yuna wasn't listening. She was still staring at the blade and hearing a voice, hers but not. When you hold this sword, you will no longer be Yuna. You will no longer be Serena. You will be what the god feared the most.